Sometimes an objection is a question, and the best way to manage the objection is by asking another question. Write down some questions that might be appropriate to ask. What is the advantage of answering an objection with a question? Why is it important to be prepared in advance with these questions? Sometimes an objection is a question, and the best way to manage the objection is by asking another question. Write down some questions that might be appropriate to ask. Here are a few examples. Why do you say that? I'm going to answer that, but do you mind if I ask where you heard or learned that information? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most significant, how important is that to you? If it worked, would you at least be open to considering it? That is an interesting perspective. What would make you feel or think that way? What would you need to know, hear, in order to ease your mind about this, whatever they just stated? I can certainly provide you with a legitimate explanation for that issue or problem. Where would you like me to begin? This is something I am very comfortable responding to. How in-depth of an answer do you require? What is the advantage of answering an objection with a question? You slow down the interaction, take immediate pressure off yourself, force the prospect to think, buy yourself some time, and allow yourself to prepare for the next step. Why is it important to be prepared in advance with these questions? So they are presented in a calm, relaxed, professional manner. In order for them to sound genuine, sincere, and thought-provoking. There are many skills that you will need to continually work towards mastering in order to become competent and confident in your abilities to successfully handle and overcome objections. You are encouraged to review the list and take note of those areas that specifically apply to you. Manage and set expectations. Does the perfect or ideal solution exist, or will the prospect have to compromise? Are they being realistic in their expectations? Master conversational, listening, problem-solving, conflict resolution, teaching, and perception transformation techniques to adjust expectations. Qualify needs. What matters more to the prospect or customer, or what's most important to them? What, if anything, are they willing or prepared to sacrifice in order to get what they really want? Be thorough and build value when presenting, demonstrating, and explaining details. Maximize the value that you build into the solution, recommendation, product, service, and associated features, advantages, and benefits. Offset fees, costs, premiums, inconveniences, and other perceived downsides by addressing needs and providing worthwhile advantages. Gain acceptance and acknowledgement while reviewing and presenting to clear up misunderstandings and identified objections. Identify perceived flaws, drawbacks, or hot points or hot buttons. If the nature of what you are selling creates common or automatic objections, common if you're selling unique, premium, specialty, one-of-a-kind, or complex solutions, be aware and have a strategy to address the concern in a tactful and sensitive manner. Learn to deflect or draw attention away from the negative focal point by qualifying the opportunity based on needs, what matters most, and zeroing in on value-added benefits that outweigh perceived disadvantages. Use reason and logic. Relate to the prospect on a level that they can appreciate and understand. This will work especially well if they are a reasonable and logical person. Use the power of comparison by using an explanation that relates to something that they are more knowledgeable about. This can be based on what they do for a living, hobbies, or interests that they have, or their lifestyle. Remain respectful, composed, and emotionally resilient. Always aim to prevent objections before they arise and create a stumbling block. Expect objections, plan, prepare, and practice your objection handling techniques. Know the common ones, and never be surprised or blindsided by them. In this e-learning module, we discovered tips, techniques, and ideas to help you understand what objections are and how to distinguish between objections and non-objections, reviewed the emotional and psychological aspects of objections, understand why objections are often good, and discussed how to handle them in a calm and professional manner, teach you techniques and ideas for successfully overcoming objections with confidence, provided you with suggestions to minimize the number of objections that you encounter, clarified the significance of your perception and interpretation of prospect dialogue. Now that you have completed the e-learning module, it is time for the final exam. Each question has a 90-second time limit, and the exam has a 35-minute time limit. You cannot pause the exam once you begin. The exam includes many types of questions, including true or false, drag and drop, multiple answers, etc. Read the questions carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before submitting your response. Many of the questions or variations of them have been asked in the quizzes from this module. You will have one chance to respond to each question, and you will be graded. Correct answers will be provided for questions that are responded to incorrectly. After successful completion, you will receive a certificate of completion. This concludes step number 12 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.